It's official, Hazbin Hotel Season 2 Episodes 3 and 4 have officially dropped, and with it, we've learned some of Alastor's biggest secrets. And I mean, it's insane. We're talking about one of the most secretive characters in the series getting everything revealed about him in one episode. So today, I'm going to be going through all of it. His backstory, his deal, what it specifically is, and a bunch of things you may have missed. So today, let's jump into the video, Alastor's biggest secrets revealed. Now, the first big thing we learn about in Hazbin Hotel Season 2 Episode 4 is Alastor's backstory, which starts off like just any other. We see a young Alastor, a young man, handsome, charming, growing up in New Orleans in the 1930s. He's a huge radio show host and a charming guy who parties by day. And one of the first things we notice in the backstory is Mimsy. Mimsy is there just like she said she was in Season 1. She seems to have a relationship with Alastor during his party days. But you see, the young charming Alastor is hiding a secret even Mimsy doesn't know about at this point, as it's revealed to us really quickly that he is a serial killer. And I don't mean a Dexter-like serial killer like many people theorized. I mean a full-blood serial killer who killed a guy just for spilling wine on him. So yeah, a truly evil guy, but Alastor has a problem. You see, Alastor's not silly. He knows the life of a serial killer is never truly that long, and on top of that, he knows he's not going to a good place on the other side. Which means the young Alastor's gonna have to improvise. So what does he do? A seance. You see, Alastor knows a lot about voodoo. He knows a lot about dark magic, and after multiple attempts, he finally makes contact with the demon. And he manages to contact a figure no one would expect. Rosie. And you know what? Alastor has a proposition. You see, Alastor knows that he's going to go the other side. He wants to be powerful enough to do what he wants to do. Meaning, he wants to make a deal with the devil to make him strong enough to continue his rampage in hell. Now, this request actually surprises Rosie, and in most situations, she wouldn't be able to do it, but she comments on the fact that Alastor's soul is extremely unique. So you see, Rosie offers Alastor a deal. She says, I can make you the strongest sinner. In return, I'm going to own your soul until you fulfill your debt. And of course, Alastor goes on to take this deal, but what exactly was it? Now, me personally, I actually have a theory on what this could actually be. I think that the deal involves protecting Charlie. You see, if you go back through Season 1 and 2, we find out a lot of the things that Rosie tells Alastor to do involve Charlie. First things first, if we go back 7 years ago, Alastor originally disappeared around the exact same time Lilith did, which is kind of weird. And on top of that, coincidentally enough, the first time that Alastor's allowed to return to the public eye is when Charlie decides to open up a hotel. Which we then find out in the latest episode, it seems to be Rosie who was behind Alastor joining the hotel in the first place, because when Alastor tries to leave, Rosie says he's not allowed to yet. But you see, that's not even everything. There's one more piece of evidence that solidly proves the deal must involve Charlie. You see, after the conversation with Rosie, we see Alastor going to a park bench to think, which is where he thinks of this great idea. From here, we see Alastor go and challenge the V's, have a huge fight with them, and then convince Vox to do a deal with him. And you see, if the whole point of this fiasco is to help Alastor out of his current predicament, why would the only thing he want be the protection of Charlie from Vox? That's quite literally the only thing he asked for. So take a second to think about everything I just said. Why would Alastor be going out of his way to do all these things unless the deal involves Charlie? And now take a second to think about all the things Alastor did in Season 1. For example, the first thing he does is make Vaggie strike a deal with him. Next thing we see him do is try and make Charlie view him like a father figure, and then try and get Charlie to make a deal with him. And then after that, when he has to take Charlie to get some help, the first person he goes to is none other than Rosie, who seems to have a connection to Charlie somehow. So yeah, that's my current theory on what the deal is, but let's continue the backstory. You see, after this, the literal next day, we see Alastor dragging a body through the forest when a hunter and his dog mistakes him for a deer. We then see him shot with a rifle, and of course, in the Hazbin Hotel universe, the way you die in the real world decides what you look like in hell, which is why he looks like a deer. Now, if we quickly go back to Season 1, we actually know from Mimsy's perspective what happened next. You see, because of Alastor's great deal, the second he ends up in hell, he's automatically the strongest sinner, meaning he started hunting overlords. And you see, because sinners can't die in a conventional way, Alastor just ends up taking their soul and then broadcasting their screams all across hell, which is why he earns the name the Radio Demon. Now, sometime after this, Vox ends up in hell and quickly becomes an overlord, which is how he befriends Alastor. Now, you see, a few years after this, we actually see Vox approach Alastor to join the V's, which is how him and Vox end up becoming enemies. You see, Alastor and Vox are pretty different people. Alastor always killed alone, while Vox in the real world was a cult leader. He always worked in a group. Alastor viewed this as weak and laughed off Vox, which ended up having them have a huge fight. And you see, this fight wasn't pretty. If you didn't know, Vox ended up getting destroyed by Alastor. He beat the shit out of him so badly that the next time they fought, all the V's 3v1'd Alastor. And you see, this is pretty much the end. After this, Alastor's eventually asked by Rosie to go into hiding, and then this leads into the events at Hazbin Hotel itself. So yeah, in this episode, we learned so much about Alastor, his backstory, secrets, theories, etc., and we know so much to go off. But what do y'all think about this episode, and what did you think about this video? Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the future what you would like me to talk about next. Also, we're almost at 40 40,000 subscribers. So please, if you made this far in the video, please leave a subscribe and let me know in the comments what you want me to make next. I hope everyone has an amazing day. Good night, good day, see ya.